Hi YouTube, what's up? It is me, Ama. Welcome to my channel. I know it has been a minute. I think it's actually has been almost a year since I have been on YouTube. So much has gone on, so many updates. As you can see, I am here. I actually moved. I am no longer in the US. I moved to Tanzania. I am in Tanzania now. And it has really been great for my health. I have just wanted to, as you guys know, we've done the water fasting and the juice fasting. Um, and I actually ended up doing, I think, a 21-day water fast. I think that was my no, it wasn't really the longest I've ever done a water fast. Um, and yeah, but I am here. If you see me looking out, we have such a beautiful view here. So I am outside on the balcony. I'm sure you can see some of the, like what, you can kind of see like a little mirror image of the back here. But yeah, I have been here for a while. And it has been when I went all the way up. First, let me just do like my weight update because I am sure inquiry minds want to know. Um, Before I moved here, I was at my heaviest, my absolute heaviest. The last time I actually stood on a scale, I was 467 pounds. So that is much bigger than what I was when I was talking to you guys. That was the last time. I think I weighed myself probably a week before I left for Tanzania. And so much was going on. I had one of the main things I was dealing with was lymphedema, and parts of my legs were like hard, like it just felt like as hard as a rock. And it was very heavy, all my from my knees on the upper, all the way to like mid upper thigh. And it was just hard as a rock. And it was very difficult to move around. Um, so a week before I left, I weighed myself, and I did not weigh myself after that. I did not bring a scale to Tanzania on purpose because I didn't want to get caught up with the weight on the scale. I wanted this trip to be about just, getting healthy, um, without focusing on the weight, but just getting healthy. And to me, healthy is being able to like do things for myself, be able to move around freely and easily without assistance. Um, and so I decided, I need to change my environment. And I left and moved here to Tanzania. And it has been quite an experience. First, just traveling. So I'm sure before I left, I was bigger than the 467. I probably was in my 470s by then. And I was very worried about getting on the plane because the last time I was on a plane ride was at least a couple of years or 3 years prior to getting on a plane. And so I was just so worried about, and then the seats were tight, and I was like 100 pounds less than what I was, than the 467. So I was just like, how am I even going to fit in those seats? You know, Luckily I was traveling. When I traveled, the person sitting next to me was smaller, and thank God it was like seats of three, right? And we had like a child that's sitting on that third seat. We were just like, yes, oh my God. God was just amazing because, she wasn't like trying to put her, how you go and some people like they put down their seat armrest The last time when I flew, um, I think where did we? I went to Abu Dhabi, and and that was years ago. And I was like 100 pounds less than what I was. And there was this lady who, like, just right away she saw me and had this frown on her face and put her seat down, put the armrest down, and it kind of like cut right there on my hip. But by the time that flight was over, and when I went on that flight, I was actually on a dry fast because I didn't want to have to be going to the bathroom. And by the time we were into the flight, mid-flight, that woman had her whole head on my shoulder, falling asleep. So when she woke up, I was looking at her like, yeah, you were thinking about your space. Now you got your whole head on my shoulder. Of course, I didn't say that to her, but I just kind of looked at her, and then she went ahead without even me asking to make herself more comfortable so she can lean on me some more. She went ahead and put up her armrest. But so just thinking about that, I was like, oh no, how am I going to travel? A friend of mine was like, well, why don't you just kind of put a Foley in? And I've had that put in me once. If you guys don't know what it is, it's kind of like this. It's attached to a bag, this tube, and you put it inside, like insert it through like your urethra, and oh my goodness, to catch your pee. I'm just like, I cannot see myself doing that. First of all, I remember it was very painful. I'm not doing all that. I'm not. But we went with Ethiopian Airways, so airline, and the bathroom was, I love the way the bathroom was. You go in, and at least it's like the toilet, and then the sink is in front. It wasn't like you have the toilet, right? And then the sink right next to it. So when you sit, you can't even really open your legs or anything like that. I know, a little bit TMI. But this one, I was able to sit and be comfortable. That's the first thing I did. As soon as I got on the plane, I was able to just sit, get in there. I went into the bathroom real quick just to see how it was. And I was like, yes. And then I had my little stick with me, so I will be able to like take care of my needs, to cleanse myself and all that. So I was so happy. I was like, yay, I can do that. And then from actually, because I was having a lot of problems with my mobility, I actually had to, as soon as my brother took me to the airport, and he was so wonderful, got me, they brought me a wheelchair right there from the door of the airport, took me all the way. I felt so bad for the guy because there were some, inclines in the airport, and it was far to our gate. And I felt so bad, I mean, I ended up tipping him really nicely. But he was very, very sweet. Anyone who was taking me with a wheelchair, they didn't make me feel bad. They didn't make me feel like, oh my God, this is so much. They didn't complain. I mean, from the US all the way to Tanzania until I got to the hotel. But it was really, that was great because I didn't have to walk anywhere. We were like the first ones on the plane first, we had that priority. So that was a blessing. That was a blessing, but I tell you, even with all of that, I mean, someone might think it's a perk. I really missed just being able to go through. You know what I'm saying? The only time I had to get up was when, you have to take off your shoes and all that stuff. And I had assistants taking off my shoes and then just getting up and going through the, the scanning machine and stuff like that. But yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it will be. It really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. The last time I flew, I was able to walk and do all of that stuff. I didn't have a cane. I didn't need assistance, and I was fine, So, it really, really was, it was fine. The only thing, when I got to Ethiopia, it took a while for them to get my wheelchair, and I started panicking. I started crying, because after the long flight, which it took about almost 24 hours to get to Tanzania. The flight stopped, I can't remember where, I think Togo. And then, and for those of you who don't know where Tanzania is, it's on the continent of Africa, on the eastern side of Africa, and it's surrounded by a lot of different countries. Kenya being one of them, I think Rwanda, Burundi, um, I think Ethiopia is one of them, I think. And then I think Zambia also, I think. But, get a map, look, and you will see. But yeah, so, and then of course, when we got to our hotel, it's beautiful hotel, beautiful hotel. Um, it was just everything was comfortable. Once you got, even when I was crying and spazzing out about not having a wheelchair, even when I even when they find, I mean, the Ethiopians, they were so wonderful. Like they were yelling at their own people, like, look, what are you doing? you know, get this lady a wheelchair. There were like a couple of travelers who actually just sat with me. They refused to leave and just sat with me. This is because this was my first time in because we had to stop at Ethiopia and change flights to get to Tanzania. But they were so sweet, and they're like, they knew it was my first time coming to like being in Ethiopia. They were so sweet. Ethiopians are so sweet. They are so amazing. I think in my lifetime I've only known maybe one, and she was very kind. She was someone who I went to college with. But yeah, so sweet, so sweet. Um, what was her name? That girl, Blaine Workey. That was her name. She was very very sweet. I went to college with her, and she was so sweet. She was so sweet, just a gentle soul. And yeah, definitely I can see why she was so sweet because the Ethiopians were so kind. That some of the travelers actually stayed there with me until I got a wheelchair, and they were wiping my tears. Don't worry, they were yelling in their language to whoever to bring a wheelchair. Why does she still not have a wheelchair? Um, I was like, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. But they were very sweet. They waited until I got one before they went about their own business. That is one of the beautiful things, seriously, of being on the African continent. People are just so sweet and so helpful, like really. And yeah, I mean, also, in America, people are very kind and very helpful as well. Um, but it's just something. It's something about being here on the continent. Yeah, Africans are just like they go above and beyond. I tell you, they really do. But yeah, so it has been a wonderful experience, and it has been very nurturing for me because I think when I was in America, one of the things, the difference, let me just say the difference. Being here, now of course we are in January, and in America it's cold. Here it's sunshine. It's sunshine. Like right now, I am outside, and it's beautiful. The sun shines pretty much every day, even when it rains, which has been rare since I've been here. Um, Even when it rains, it doesn't last long. You have like this torrential downpour, and then it'll just clear. You'll have dark skies and then blue skies. Um, so that has been nice. It's been really just good for my soul, really. And then being outside, when I was in America, I was there in the little townhouse, and you can't really, around this time, it's pretty much going to the store, coming back. And then the whole thing with, of course, the flu season and all that stuff, people are masking up. Here, that's not the case. So I get this fresh air every morning. Come out here on my balcony and just really enjoy. And then you just see these beautiful birds and just, of course, they have the other like salamanders and bugs and all that stuff. But it's just beautiful. butterflies, beautiful birds, like just amazing. I haven't seen these colors, you know. Flowers. We have a mango tree that, let me tell you, these mangoes are the sweetest I have ever had. And I'm like a mango connoisseur. Like, I love mangoes. Okay? I love my mangoes. Mm. But these mangoes are something out of. It's as if God brought me here and were like, I'm gonna put some fruits here for you to have, and you just eat that, and you are going to be healed. And he just put an abundance. The mango tree is falling, like leaning over with the fruit and the mangoes. Some of them are like big. I mean, I've never seen mangoes like this. They're big like this. They're green mostly, have very little yellow. But when you cut in, and even when you cut it, it's not like it has some orange on the inside. The outside is like a pale yellow. You know, like the once you peel off the skin. But it's so sweet. It's the sweetest mango I've ever tasted. The sweetest I've ever tasted. I don't even know what kind of mango it is because it's different from any mangoes I've ever tasted ever in my life. All of the other mangoes pretty much kind of taste, look, kind of, you know, they have different looks, different shapes, but, you know, it's orange, vibrantly orange, right? But this is different, yet it's so sweet. Oh my goodness. And it has a little crunch to it. The inner part seems to be a little more soft than the outer, but the whole thing is very, very sweet. Oh my goodness. So that's what's going on. I am here today. I am attempting to just drink. I'm drinking a little more of, you know, water. And so I'm still on the journey. I'm still on the journey. So many wonderful things have happened. I am cane free. I don't use my cane anymore. I haven't used it, I want to say, in about, I want to say like 2 months. I haven't used it. And that's after I had been using this cane for over a year, maybe about 2 years. I don't use the cane anymore. That is great, just from being here. I know I've lost weight. The lymphedema, remember I was telling you it was like hard as a rock? All of that part is soft. All of that part is soft. The main thing now for me is like the skin, but the skin of course still has some fat in it. I still have weight to lose. I kind of want to get a little stronger now. So what I'm trying to do, and I want to start, that's one of the things I want to start here. I want to get stronger. I want to be able to stand up for long periods of time. Right now, you know, I mean, yes, I can. And then the other thing, this house that we're in, like even to go to the bathroom, it's like a longer walk. So just moving around this environment, if I have to go out, I gotta go down 2 flights of steps to get in cars. The cars here all seem to be quite small compared to American cars, and they all seem to have the same kind of car. I mean, yes, you see differences here and there, but it's pretty small cars. When I first came here, it will be like crying just to get in the damn car. Okay? And then of course going through the process trying to find a place and all that. Now though, when I go, and then it was a nightmare. Just the thought of having to walk down those 2 flights of steps to get into the car, just thinking about it was like a nightmare. But now it's not a nightmare. I go down those steps. I don't worry about it. I'm able to go down without assistance, able to get in the car without assistance. And I can buckle my seat belt. which I wasn't able to do. I'll be in the front and I won't be able to buckle my seatbelt. And then one day I had a driver who was like, oh, I need you to buckle your seatbelt, you being in the front. And I was like, oh boy, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, because he's like, there are a lot of cops on the road. And I was like, pulling it. Oh my God, click. So that was such a pleasant surprise. Yeah, lymphedema has gone down, mobility is better. My blood pressure that was always so high, yeah, it does, but it has gone down so much. Like I was dealing with sometimes 200 over 100 and something blood pressure. Heart rate always well above 100, like 120s. That's on a good day. The heart rate is still high, not as high as it was. But that blood pressure has come all the way down. And I don't do my blood pressure every day. I really don't. I don't take blood pressure meds anymore. I just don't. I haven't had to. And so I think I went through like my meds with you all before, I think. Can't remember, it's been such a long time since I've been on YouTube. But yeah, I am down to maybe taking most of the time, one pill a day. Most of the time, one pill a day. Sometimes, maybe twice a week, maybe 2 pills a day. So I went from over 20 pills a day to about 2 pills. So that has been a blessing. Yeah, a lot of blessings, just a lot of blessings. Still, I still have challenges, but there are 2 things I want to work on. Is really trying to get to a space where I'm having mostly fruits a day and water, and not really eating anything. I haven't really been on any kind of diet. One of the reasons why I chose East Africa, because I am, from West Africa. But why I chose a country in East Africa, because, in most of West Africa, the foods are very fattening, and those are comfort foods because I grew up with those foods, right? But we have the palm oil and all. In East Africa, that's not the case. Everything here is either boiled or grilled, and it doesn't seem as though they use salt. These are not well seasoned. Yeah, and they don't use sugar. And it's not like the sugar in the States, it's like the raw sugar, like the one that hardly melts. So yes, so that's what's going on. So here there's a limit to what you can eat. America, it was just so easy. Just get a DoorDash, get some fast food, whatever. Not the case. Not the case here. Not the case here at all. I'm going to have to end this because my leg is kind of cramping up a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to give you all that update. I will be trying to come here every day just to kind of keep myself accountable as before. And there are 2 things I want to work on is standing up and meditation. And 2 things that I'm really working on. So I'll start tomorrow doing like 1 minute of standing up, and I'm going to try to stand on my bare feet. Everything's nicely tiled or marbled here, so I can stand on my feet. And which I guess also could be really good for grounding. I thought grounding, you could only do that like on the actual earth. You guys tell me, get in the comments and let me know. Can you do grounding on like tiles or marble floor? Anyway, let me know. But yeah, so I'm just gonna be doing that, and the videos and giving updates as they come on, if it's something fantastic, whatever. But yeah, basically it's going to be that. And And I hope you come with me on this journey. And as time goes on, hopefully each day I can add a minute, So in 10 days, I'll be standing up for 10 minutes, which, oh my goodness, will blow my mind. Like I can you know, walk maybe for 5 minutes at a time. But although I found out there was a time I'll tell you that story, my Kenya story, how I was kind of forced to walk for, I really think it was like about 30 minutes. I couldn't even believe. I think my body needed to do it, so it did it. It was like an emergency. But yeah, I will tell you about that story another time. But yeah, I am so happy that I'm just on here. The videos come up probably going to be like short videos because it's just going to be like 1 minute, standing, 1 minute meditation. Then the next it will be 2 minutes standing, 2 minutes, meditation, that kind of thing. And yes, let's go on this journey. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for coming back. Thanks so much to any new subscribers. Very, very, very excited. All right, thanks. Bye.